Can you see everything?
Yeah.
So we've talked over this map a few times by now, so I'm mostly just gonna play this. I'm gonna pause in a couple spots, and I'm gonna ask you to tell me what you see that's wrong and what you could have done better.
Okay.
Looks like some of the stuff that you used to do much better, you kind of forgot. I don't know if it's because we took some time off or had midterms or whatever, but sometimes habits just take more reps to build, right? It's like you can do it right once or twice, but to really, really master it, you have to do it multiple times. So let's have a look. This is all fine, right? Doesn't really matter. Good to hide. Yeah, so this is a good rotation because if you drop another shield now, you're not gonna have it for it's gonna be too long before you can drop, right? So this is good to hold your shield and drop. This is all fine. Not using shield, good. This is fine. This is still fine. About now.
Please move behind the barrier.
What's wrong with this shield?
It's not like contesting the cart. It's just like kind of a panic shield because it's just too much. I like there's pressure from that side, but I can probably like leave it alone slightly and try and contest cart.
Yeah, I prefer you just lean on this side a little bit and stop cart because there's only a couple. If you put the shield here and you contest cart, right? There's a couple things that can happen, right? They could try to pinch you like this, in which case you would just actually lean on this side of cart a bit more. Like you can kind of because the thing is you have the high ground to back you up, right?
Yeah.
And you want to waste a bit more time with this corner because if you give this corner for free, this pathway becomes a little bit harder to defend. So I do want you to it's good to hold shield until you kind of need it, and I do want you to contest card a little bit once it gets here. Right, if they hard shove you this way, just run this way, because they can't realistically chase you really hard this way without taking a lot of fire from your high ground. Right, this door really sucks from the push out of. So as long as you're not actually standing in it, if you're literally standing here, you're probably fine. But
Yeah.
the broader concept is you need to buy more time, right? The whole point of playing main tank and a lot of scenarios is just stall cart, buy time if you're on defense. Right now you're burning a lot of cooldowns. You burnt both cooldowns and cart's still moving. Okay, well they're not touching cart. Just cart could be moving right now. This is goofy on them for not touching cart, but whatever. That pull's kind of worthless. All right, no one's gonna follow that. And now you have a problem, right? Because you're. So what? So. Do you care about fighting the people in this room?
No. There's no way to win that fight.
Right, there's no reason to shield this. If you want to peek it, fine. Just do this a little bit, right? There's no reason to burn cooldowns here. Because you need to save. This is what I mean by you need to save your cooldowns from when they matter, and just willy nilly dropping a shield here. There's 10 seconds where you can't respond to something, and if you can't, this shield accomplishes nothing, and it leaves a big 10-second window where you don't have the power to respond, right? So if the enemy pushes out like they do here, you're powerless. You're screwed.
Yeah.
Alright, so now you're 3 seconds. You have no shield, and you're dead. Why does that happen? Okay, you take a headshot. Yeah, you just get collapsed on. Right, and this probably wouldn't happen if you save your shield, you pop it here, and you stall cart.
Yeah.
This retake was really sloppy. Okay, going out the right door. This is fine for the most part. I mean, you have to buy some space. Given where your DPS is, I would have shielded here. Right, you don't need your shield nearly as bad as these guys do.
Yeah.
I understand you wanting to get there a little faster. And you need a touch cart. So, I don't know. I mean, the best you could have done probably is just angle it this way a bit so that you can cover the there's only a sig there, right? You want to cover this side so your DPS can actually pressure this way. You're setting your DPS. Just a little bit more thought on the shield placement. That's messy. Yeah, I guess there's just not really a. We're not sure who's supposed to be touching car right now, so it's just.
Yeah, I think that was the confusion thing.
Just had a cooldowns left. Unfortunate. Yeah, big issue is the source fight. Right, like you're blowing cooldowns for nothing, and you need to be spending it here. Like if you put a shield here, and you just stand in car, like what are they gonna do, right? And then once your shield's gone, you have two options. You can either hard kite, which I probably wouldn't do. Honestly, I'd probably just LOS on cart and use gold. Right, because
play on the other side of the cart.
Yeah, like, if the cart's here, if the cart's doing this, for example,
just play like near the
and you shield this, right? You can just like just do this.
Okay.
Right, just be a bigger pain in the ass. If you make them come through this door to contest you, you're really happy. Your backline's really happy because they're gonna get really clean shots. This is a really rough door to come out of, and they're gonna get really nice shots from here. And if you have a Widow, right, Widow is just a free backside angle in this one. Like TLDR is you don't want this corner to be so easy because you have a tendency to just give it up.
Yeah.
And this truck is an okay spot to hold, but you don't really want to have to use it, right? You want to be able to hold that first corner. And yeah, if you're standing here, they're gonna if they're smart, they're gonna try to pinch you. And you play around that pinch by just sliding it that way.
That makes sense.
If you literally like blow use your shield, slide this way, use gold, and you end up dying on card because you don't get your next shield back, or like you get your lamp out. If you go through shield, gold, a lamp, and yeah, all that stuff, and you die on the cart, and the cart hasn't moved, you're okay with that. To be honest, right? You'll get you'll most likely get another contest, or they'll have spent so many resources trying to get you off this cart. Your team is in a pretty decent spot, just chilling here.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, so this kind of stuff has to stop. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but look, you're at 117 ammo. You're shooting a wall for about 20 rounds.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it means that if you have to reload mid-fight for any reason, that's pressure that you're losing, right? Your reload animation is really long, so you want to get out of the habit of just shooting nothing. Like in this case, it didn't really matter, but wasting your clip is, it's decreasing your uptime. So you should be very clear that they're trying to push this door, right? By this point, where should you be standing?
In the room again, or back in the room?
Yeah, like here, right? You can't afford to just stand here. I mean, you can do everything that you're about to do from here just fine. You can try to pull them off the ledge. It's a good attempt, even though it didn't succeed. But everything that you want to do, you can do from this room fairly easily. And you're missing a couple guys, but it's whatever, right? You can't. You have a tendency to not play cover as horse, and you just can't do that. Right? You're pretty sturdy, but you still need cover. It's like with horse, your cooldowns are okay. You drop your shield, the shield cracks. You need to reserve gold to get you to safety if there is safety, and ideally you're standing here, right? So your shield cracks and you just duck, so you don't have to use gold, because if you use gold to live, they can just run into you at this point and you die. Right? You want to have cover, and your gold is your bailout button. Your gold is like if you get pulled, if something really out of whack happens, you can use it to live. But there's no plan B here. There's no cover to duck here. You're playing in the open. But this is really bad. Right, that Ben goes obligated to trans you. Really didn't need that. Shoot the widow, dude. I'm not really sure why you golded there.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
As a general micro thing, not even a micro thing, but okay. First of all, you have to see that widow, but
Yeah.
there should be a little, like you need to have this image in your head when you play. Okay, there's a huge tendency for people to harp about focusing fire. And I actually don't really necessarily subscribe to that notion, especially if you're a tank. Okay, because as a tank, what you need to do is you need to make sure your angles are covered. So your Peter is covering this angle with grab and whatever. So if Peter's looking that direction, you should be thinking not, okay, let's autopilot and shoot what everybody's shooting. You should be thinking, is there somebody that I need to cover that isn't being covered, right? It's like you're playing if you're playing I don't know if you watch any football, right? But it's like you're playing linebacker, okay, and you're hovering on the field and you're thinking, is there somewhere on the field, like, is there some dude that's not being covered that if I don't cover, they're just gonna break through and run for like 20 yards, right? If you literally stack 3 or 4 guys on one side of the field and the other side's not covered, someone's gonna bust through that. And right now you got both tanks hard looking left, and these guys are uncovered.
Yeah.
So when you see this, like, you sense that there is no pressure being put out to your right side, like you have an exposed flank basically, right? You should feel, because you can see this and you can hear this, you got pressure coming from your right side and nobody's covering that, i.e. not one of your tanks. You need to turn and cover that, right? For your DPS, your squishy heroes, it's kind of just you get yourself on a flank angle, you get yourself on the right angle, and you shoot what's easy. Right, you shoot what's in front of you. You shoot what's high percentage to hit. That's totally fine. But especially for you tanks, right? You got to cover the angles. Like if you're a monkey, you don't jump here. You're like, hey, this guy, jump this dude. Why? You have to cover this angle, right? You have to, like, the tank's job is to deny angles, to deny space. Right? It's not to collapse on this and do DPS. It's to deny. It's to cover this. Right? This is an uncovered angle right now, and Ian dies for it. Not really sure why, but when you feel this happening, cover the other angle. And it's like that pole needs to go at the BAP, right? And the BAP has a good chance of dying then. Plus, you didn't get a gold. Right, the BAP almost dies even without the pole. So you pull him, he definitely dies. Right, and the problem was just you're autopiloting on the left side again, focus fire kind of is pretty overrated, right? These guys are totally fine fighting the right side because that's what's in front of them, and also it's the uncovered angle that they have to contest. You need to help them. This shield is worthless. That's cool. So, can you see why I don't like this shield?
Yeah, it's a very selfish shield. It's not helping with anyone.
Nobody's looking at you, first of all. Right? Like, if you put the shield here that's saying, I'm gonna stand here for the foreseeable future, and nobody's looking at you in this position, so you're committing yourself to standing here before you see how the fight's gonna play out. If that makes any sense. Yeah. I talked to Ben, and I just talked to Amon a lot about maximizing your options. Right, the best way the way to maximize your chance of success is not to do any one thing super well or to commit yourself into any one path. It's to be able to respond to the maximum number of possibilities. Right, it's like you play chess. You're not just programming a set of moves. You want to make sure you have responses to the maximum possible outcomes. And when you drop a shield this early, it's like if they back around the corner, you can't do anything about it. If they decide to run this way, you can't chase, right? If they kite hard this way, I mean, they'll walk in front of your shield for a brief minute, but then you can't chase, right? You're committing yourself a little early.
Yeah.
And there's not really any threat that's forcing you to drop this shield right now, so you're cutting off your decision tree. You're CS major, right?
Yeah.
You're cutting off multiple branches of your decision tree way too early, right? Keep it bushier. say you're just wasting clip right now.
Yeah.
Just kind of sloppy.
Activated.
You're not really feeling your timings a little bit. Like, you need to chill for... You're 300 health, right? Chill for the 2 seconds it takes to get your shield back, then peek. Because you could have died there, probably. from just headshot damage. And also, if you had done that, then what I would have done is I would have peeked out and chucked a shield probably, like here, a little deeper. Right? You peeked early, and then you felt like you were pressured to drop the shield, but you could have chucked the shield a little deeper and actually taken a bit of space. Because they have no tanks right now, and you want to be able to clean these guys up. But it's when you peek early without your shield, you take a bunch of damage, and you feel pressure to drop your shield right where you are. And the thing with a shield is you got to think about, like, what space are you trying to take? Okay? You want to be able to... You want control of this. So your shield needs to go here. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to control this sight line. They have no tanks right now, and you want to move up.
Yeah.
But this is committing you to this door, and the door is already yours, right? It doesn't really get you a whole lot to stay at the door. Wasting clip. What are we doing, dude? Okay, yeah, they're all under you. So this is kind of this is what I mean, right? Look at how much ammo you have in your clip. You probably wasted half of it shooting the boiler. And you need to be shooting a shield or a body right now, right? That Widow's 1 HP. You need to be shooting something right now, not reloading.
Yeah.
And now you have to reload. So that is prime example of why you can't do that.
For your safety, please move behind the barrier.
Do you really want to be standing here right now? Like, you see where your Hanzo is, right? So
you want me to play near the Hanzo just like temporarily?
Well, just
I think we usually have Orisa at the door and then Sigma over on the Hanzo area.
It kind of... let's see, does it really matter? I actually think it's probably better for you to be on the far side, because Sig on the Hanzo side means he's out of range to go if they push on the door. But even then, like, look at where your Hanzo is, right? What, like, if you drop a shield right here, what is this accomplishing? What space are you actually contesting or buying with this shield?
Not much, yeah.
Right, because you can read what Andrew is looking at, and he wants to shoot that Sig, right? Or he wants to look at that door. So the influence that your team has when both your tanks are just doing this is your front line, right? Your angles are going this way. And this is not a concave, right? Always mid-fight, early fight, mid-fight, late fight. Think concave. He's looking this way, look in this way, or look this way, right? So get a shield like here. You don't even need a shield right now. Nobody's shooting it. Just walk that way, right? Like you have this tendency of, oh, I have to shield all the time.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily where that shield is that I really care about. It's the pattern I'm looking for. And the pattern is you like to drop your shield wherever you're standing as soon as you have it, right? That's not enough thought about what is this shield contesting, what sightline is this buying me, what concave am I trying to establish, right? This shield does none of those things. And because that shield, like, okay, yeah, it's still problem, right? Because you dropped a shield early when you didn't really need it. And now the Sig is going to walk at you. Instead of having a shield to drop here and contest this. And now your Hanzo's getting bumped off his angle. Because you're not helping hold it.
Yeah.
And now, again, you're going to drop the shield exactly where you're standing. What angle do you need to contest right now? Please, tell me.
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing. I should just like hide or like
No.
like walk around or I don't know.
Like if they manage to get the side of the map, you're in deep doo-doo, right?
Yeah, so I should probably just like walk around towards the Hanzo behind the boilers.
Well, you should have been here a lot earlier, first of all, But
Yeah.
their Sig is 1 HP, their Hanzo's backing out. So you have a lot of space. Like you should be able to read this body language and say, hey, I have a lot of room to go forward. Right? You can take this right now. Sig's 1 HP. Pull him. Pull him. Pull him.
Safety, get behind the barrier.
Right, so I can see how much we're missing right now. Just value. Like we're not thinking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a cascade of errors, right? Like this is the first error. The second error is not feeling the urgency to contest this angle, getting a shield down here or down here to help Andrew hold it. Right, and then we're just kind of, and because we made this error, we don't have a shield. Now we're in panic mode, and we're instead of thinking about pulling the Sig and killing him, or taking this angle and contesting this side of the map, we're just gonna drop a shield exactly where we're standing and panic. Right, and if you were here, the Sig dies 100%. Or if you even thought about walking this way. So again, this was your first error, and your second error was not thinking about moving to the right. Because if you start walking at the Sig right now, he's in pretty deep. You still have gold. You're gonna get your next shield up by the time your gold expires. Your team is in pretty strong. Like if their whole team was here, you probably don't want to walk that way, right? Because you might die. It's all contextual. But you only see a Sig who's half health and his team's not here. So that being said, the power balance on the field right now, and your Hanzo's already here. You have plenty of space and plenty of time to just walk here and take this angle. See what I mean? So it's very. You have to look at what's in front of you and play it, right? Like you shouldn't be afraid of instantly dying if you walk there because nobody else is here.
Yeah.
So shield is the first error. Second error is backing away from this instead of walking towards them. And if you were like anywhere in this general vicinity right now, you're still feeling fine, right? You got a corner, you got gold, you're not gonna die. These people probably die for here. Because you'd be seeing this. Drop a shield here, pull this, they die, 100%.
Yeah.
But you need to be looking at this. And now he's swapping. Again, I prefer you swap a Sig, because a Sig here is out of range of that left door.
Yeah.
Okay, something's gone wrong again. We are... So this shield is worthless.
I think that was Panic Shield, but yeah, it's still worthless.
I mean, I'm trying to break it down so that so you can understand what you need to change.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of these errors are actually compounding on each other, right? They're errors caused by more
Yeah.
errors.
I was just saying, though, I don't think that was a new shield that was equally as shit as the Panic Shield. Probably just the same thing.
So, you panic shield. Well, tell me why you panic shield, first of all, fundamentally.
It's been making a cool terminal.
I actually,
Do you want a terminal?
I think it's just more of an in a moment. It's like an automated thing,
No,
so it's not like an actual thought out.
There's a very simple and definitive answer as to why you're panic shielding, and we've already talked about it in the last 10 minutes or so. What are you not standing anywhere close to?
Cover.
Yes. Do you think you panic shield if you're here?
I suppose no. Yeah, probably.
Right, you won't feel obligated to, and if you still do at that point, you can be like, hey, don't shield, right? It's easy, you won't die. Here, you feel like, oh, I have to shield or I'll die, and you know you probably still don't die because the only guy who can hit you here is the Hanzo. There's no Zen Discord.
I love that video.
But you're taking a decent amount of damage. You feel like you have the shield, but again, you're not standing anywhere close to cover, right? And this is again why you need to prioritize getting your body here sooner than later.
Yeah.
So your first shield and the fact that screws you because it doesn't contest anything. Your second shield, you're not trying to push this way to that right sideline near cover, right? Contesting the opposite sideline, making a concave, and putting your body in cover. That's two points of huge value that you have to score, and you don't do that. So your second shield goes in the middle of nowhere because you feel pressured without cover, and now you're kind of standing in the middle of nowhere. And now you drop your third shield, and this shield is worthless.
You are advised to move
So you tell me why this shield is pointless right now.
There's not really an engagement happening or anything. I was just gonna get spammed down by the Hanzo.
Exactly, right? You can see this now very clearly. If you drop this shield, they're gonna stand there. They're gonna blow it up, and then they'll push on your Peter. they'll push in your sig, and you can't do anything about it. Right? All you have to do is LOS, like stand here and LOS them, or even stand here and LOS them, and you're like, hey, are they going? Are they going? Are they going? Oh, they're going. Okay, shield not here, but shield a little bit forward, like here, so you can actually have some room to walk, and then walk forward and like try to pull them off this ledge. Okay, but tell me to pause, like say now when you should be shielding, when you should have shielded and pulled. Because it's not now.
I mean, definitely not pulling. Fielding now, probably.
Now would be a perfectly good time, and you probably could have done it like even a second earlier. All right, I would like say. So this horse shield is trash. So this guy's not doing so good either. But you know they're not. They don't have a guy going main, right? They don't have their sig or their horse going main. Like if I were these guys, okay, if I were the horse, I would probably send my sig this way, because sig is much better at taking space while moving forward. Like a horse shield is very static. Horse traveling this distance kind of sucks. So for reference, the next time, and if anybody else is watching this, you send your horse main, okay, and then you send your sig this way.
Seeing what the terminal is on the
So
map.
then you have an angle going this way, and then you have some guys trying to walk high ground. Especially if the card is where it is, right? You can have your sig pop out even this way, so that you have a sig going the backside angle, and your horse going pop out this way, touch cart. Your sig's going this way, and your horse is probably going to have the supports on them, or at least a BAP. You're probably going to want to get your Zen high ground. So your BAP's going to be with you, and maybe one of your DPS.
Yeah.
Or you can go 4 and 2. 4 and 2 is perfectly fine. A BAP and a horse together here, totally fine. 4 guys going this way. 4 and 2 is totally fine, right? Because BAP can always jump up. So these guys are not really splitting. I mean, they got 6 guys going the same door. This is completely brain dead. Oh, Ian.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying. So the enemies are just making a brain dead push, and I was saying, okay, they're going 6 guys, 1 door. That's terrible. We do something that's a little bit less efficient, better than this, but also not efficient. We like to go the opposite door still, right? And I talked about last time, where especially if the cart is on this half of the map, it's okay to use the middle door, right? We're like, oh, we're like, don't go main. We're allergic to main now. You don't need to be allergic to main, right? If you split from main, if you go say 2 guys this way, right, and then like 3 or 4 guys this way, or 3 and 3, right? This is still perfectly fine if the enemy's playing this on this high ground. Right, we're still pinching 2 angles, touching the card.
It entirely depends on where the card is, though.
It depends on where the card is, depends on where the enemy's playing.
This point is fine. Like where the card is, it's fine to do it that way.
Yeah.
If the card's much further back, obviously.
Or you can go main and peek here or here and send some people up the steps this way, right? That's also perfectly fine. You don't need to send. You don't need to go 6 guys up the stairs, but you also don't need to split like this every single time. This split actually kind of sucks because the 2 doors can't see each other.
Yeah.
Right. If you do this split, if you really want to take the platform, and usually you want to take the platform when the card is past this point, or when the card's on the other side, usually you'll go like this way and then this way. Let's see. When would you take the platform? Platform, let's say. Yeah, it really depends on where the card is, right? Like if the card's here, I think sending like a horse BAP this way, like main-ish, right? So for exactly where the card is right now, sending 2 guys this way, and then the
white one is not
the other guys like this way is totally fine. Because when you're here, right? If you're sending guys here, you can see each other, right? The doors aren't completely cut off. If you go like all the way here, you have a huge LOS problem, which I don't think is actually that strong. If you want to contest, say if they have a bunch of guys stacked on this door, right? Then you can send again 2 or 3 guys this way, and then you're gonna send, like, you send some guys up the stairs, and then you send some people this way, right? You don't send like a whole bunch of people this way necessarily. Because you're gonna have a huge LOS issue. So yeah, that's a TLDR. Like doing these hard splits is, after seeing it a bunch of times, I think it's too far of a split because it's too easy to isolate one side and push it. You want to make sure that On these slow comps, you're a little bit closer. We'll talk about it more later when we get a chance
Mm.
to work on it.
One thing I still want to try doing that we haven't tried yet is literally just like if the card's pushed far up, like far enough up, we just shove right door on high ground.
What, with 6 people?
Not like, well, obviously we'd have like Orisa shove the top side and like Sigma underneath, right? And just try to like fan out from there.
Yeah, I'm saying your split would be better off. Like if you're gonna do that, like this and this.
Well, I'm
Slash
saying like
this.
if the card's pushed far enough towards like the end of the point, we like the main issue we tend to have is when the card is pushed up all the way towards the end of the point and we can never finish, right? So I think in that case we just need a hard shove one side instead of trying to split, which we always do.
Oh, you mean this? Like, the
Yeah,
card's
the card's like there.
somewhere
Like
in
we
this area?
always, yeah, and like we always try to split. I feel like we should just hard show one side. In that case, I don't think splitting is the best idea at that point.
I still.
I
Think
mean,
you still need
obviously you'll fan out, but like, I don't think we need to be splitting as hard, like as early as we do.
I think you still need a split. I think what you probably, if the car's here, what you'd probably then do is you'd actually shove this way, and then split the boilers. So you split this way.
Yeah,
But
but I'm saying like
at
we
that
always
point,
just
you might as well just
split
do this.
door. I mean, no, I think hard shoving together on the left side is much better. The less chance of you guys getting like of someone getting picked, which tends to happen a lot with
So
us.
once you get a bunch of guys here, then what are you gonna do? Because they're probably gonna be kind of hard contesting this door, and they're probably gonna have some people on this side of.
Well, yeah, I'm saying you'll obviously like fan out. Like you'll fan out. It's the same thing, right? You'll still have someone go catwalk. But I'm just saying we're doing
There's no
this.
cover here. Where are you gonna fan out to?
I mean, you'll have like Sigma fan out, right? It's not about like having necessarily a lot of cover. It's just Sigma going back along the catwalk or something. I just think we get picked off way too easily, especially when the cards push like far back. And we just end up staggering, like snowballing the whole
I mean,
point.
that's a micro issue. I would actually much rather you have take boiler, because what you can do on boiler.
Oh yeah, the same thing applies, right? I think we should all push boiler 6 and then we fan out. We attend. I
You mean
feel
this
like we
side? Because
yeah.
you're telling me this side. This side sucks.
Yeah, no, other where you were, yeah.
So you want to shove this side, and you get
Shove this side
send
with
people
6,
this
and
way.
then the fan, and then fan out. Because we
Yes.
always just try to split doors when the cart's already pushed up far enough where we don't need to do that.
Basically, you're saying split boiler, not doors.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that idea too. I think that's a pretty good idea. It depends on where the enemy's set up, right? If the enemy's playing really far back, like they're playing this split that we usually do, then doing this thing is fine, right? Splitting like this is totally fine because you have a lot of cover on your approach. If they're shoved up way further, like they're playing this, it doesn't really matter where the card is at this point. You have to deal with this first, right? You have to get in, and then you have to decide on what you want to do. So like for example, if the cart is, let's just say the cart's like past boiler, right? The cart's here, for example. And then the enemy is playing the front half of the map. The enemy's playing like this. Okay. You guys tell me how you want to take this. For example, if they're playing, let's say horse there or sig there, horse here. Okay. How would you break this bracket? And the card's like here somewhere.
And the cart's there. I mean, I think we split 4. I think splitting 3-3 is bad, and honestly should be a 4-2 split that we normally don't do. It's really hard to like push up the staircase as Orisa without having like enough pressure. So I think having Sig off angle and go right side, but not like commit as far, right? It's just being a distraction, like peeking out from the bottom. Do you know the door near the cart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like having maybe like one of our DPS peek out that door, Sigma pressure the other door, like towards the high ground, and the other 4 just shove left and make the Sig leave. And that way, no one has to drop off high ground the DPS. If hopefully it's like a Hanzo or something can push cart until Sig takes over.
I think I understand what you're saying, but let's make it simpler, okay? I want to start from the big picture and then get down to the basics. Okay, we talked about this broad concept before. We talked about isolating or overloading one side, right? If they're bracketing, they have two sides of this bracket. If you walk into the middle of this, you're probably gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the way you deal with this is you pick one side of the bracket and then you pinch that side, right? Because what we try to do sometimes is like we see this bracket or something that looks like this, and then we try to make a wider bracket where we try to surround them from both sides. And this isn't super good because each side is effectively taking like a 3v3, right? The wide sides can't support each other, but the middle can. So this is like it's actually kind of weak because you're basically making a 3v3. But they have a stronger position because they can see each other as 6 and you can't. Okay, so this is Poopy. Tony, you're still there, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. So if we're so pick a side. Doesn't really matter. Just pick a side. Which side are you gonna attack?
Nice.
There's no right answer to here. Just pick a side.
Uh, left, I guess.
Okay, if you want to attack left side. Okay, so how do you bracket left side?
Like once you get pushed, like
Like how would you path your team? So let's just end that we're gonna focus our pressure on this side, right? How would you path your team to make it to bracket this side and force them backwards? Because the goal is to force them backwards, so you can take that side, right? When you force one side of the bracket out, then you can take that side of the bracket, right? You can get rid of the bracket that way. So how would you pinch this side?
Sorry, I'll find
Yeah.
it. I can just get it out. What do you got?
would this be the main / left split? Would that work still?
Yeah. Right, you send some people this way, probably your Sig, because your Sig is the more mobile shield. And then you send your Horus, your BAP, and maybe one of your DPS. You go like 3-3, and you send 3 guys leaning this way. Right? The people who are here can't see this. Right? And they have a very long sight line to that side. So you have a very favorable, say like 6 versus maybe 3.5.
Oh yeah, that's okay. It's kind of small, but it looks really good.
Right, because you're basically zoning off the people on the left side of the map when you do this, right? The people on way over there can't see these people and have a very hard time dealing with these people because the range is so far.
Makes sense.
So you're gonna enter the map in a way that creates a concave on one side of their formation. Right? You're picking not the entire map to bracket or to concave, but you're gonna pick a spot on the map where they're set up, right? And you're gonna zone off a part of it. Right, and this is where we do that main left thing. Because if you go far left, you're not doing this, right? You're not really pressuring or overloading one side of the map. You're just trying to match their brackets, 3v3 on both sides. And because they're already set up and you have to walk through a choke and you can't see each other, it's just like it's not an even fight at that point, right? So you're actually at a disadvantage because they're set up and you're trying to match their setups 3v3 on each side. So we don't do that. Okay, we try to. They've established where they want to play. We're gonna pick one side of it, and we're gonna try to overload. We're gonna try to dump our pressure onto that side and force them off. Does this kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Just pour it.
Now on the flip side, if we want to overload this side, right? Let's say that
I
they
would
got some people here, and you're like, okay, we want to fight that side. How would you bracket this side?
I'm going to.
I mean, probably against like Sig's stairway or something. I don't know. Is the other boiler still near as well? Because like that seems way further than the other one.
What do you mean?
Like just like where your cursor is right now, like having the rest of it.
Like here?
I think you could pop out through the door near the cart and then just like play in your that's insane.
That
Curse.
right here?
David, would you?
That's what I was like initially talking about, but I'm not. I feel like that's too far to apply enough pressure is the issue.
So if your idea is to pinch this side of the bracket of the formation, and they're playing like somewhere in this area, this is totally fine. If they see this, they're probably gonna back off, like pretty quickly. Which is like, it'll buy you the door.
Or you have it.
But you are correct in that, like if you're playing here, you can see this side very easily, right? But if you're playing here, not so much. You know, it's a much harder LOS to fight that. So you've already answered your the next part of my question. Now that we've thought about our options for how to pinch one side of the map, is one side easier to attack than the other.
Left seems to be slightly easier.
Yeah, it's just based on the map geometry, right? It's easier for your brackets to support each other. It's easier for you to see where you're attacking. So it's going to be a little easier to get on this side, right? Just because it's harder. It's like this is just ever so slightly higher up. It's more of a higher ground. They can LOS you much easier. So yeah, if they're set up left and right like if you were the enemy looking at this, I would have picked to go this way, right? Middle and left. And if they vacated this side, well then like whatever. This is free, right? You just walk in this way anyway. You take boiler, and then you can spread out this way, and like you're totally happy. Anyway, bit of a detour, but all that because just to say 6 people going on this side of the map is kind of dumb, and they should be getting punished for this. But because we're backing up like very intensely without cooldowns, we're not in a position to punish this. Okay. Anyway, continuing to where we left off. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. About now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like. Because the thing is, this guy already dropped his shield, and because this guy looks like he's pretty shit at horse, he dropped his shield too early. Because usually you would actually wait for him to drop his shield, right? Because when he drops his shield, that's his committal. Very like horse is a very committal character. It's kind of like a monkey bubble. He drops his shield, then you can drop and pull. But like right now, he's about to walk to this corner. Like this is like a really good time to pull, right? To drop a shield and pull, try to pull him down this hole here. And maximally punish them trying to cross here without taking any kind of off angles. But you're not ready to do that because you're 6 seconds off of a shield because you wasted it early. Right? It's just this error now robs you of the opportunity to make this play. Okay,
Yeah.
now Peter feels like he's gonna get bumped off because there's no way that this should work, right? Shoving 6 guys off one side without any off angle, they should be getting bombarded from this side of the map, and they should just die because you should be pulling them backwards off the ledge, and your backline should be shooting them. But because you dropped a shield here and you fucked it up, this is effectively 6v3, and Peter's getting it run over.
I don't want to take a second because oh, this one.
So that's why dropping your shield early is just so incredibly bad.
Okay, that's
Why are you looking down, dude?
The cast rolled off with like really low HP.
Not the person. It's like you can taste it, but it's not like
Okay, so you're looking for him.
overpowering. I like it.
Alright, we're turning around. Right? This pathing that they took is so bad that even though we really, really screwed up our off angle pressure, they still lost. So that's why you don't do that. But can you see how incredibly bad shielding off time is?
Yeah.
Because it's not a Rhine shield that you can pop up at any time, right? It's like monkey bubble. When you bubble in the wrong time, that's 12 seconds where you don't get the chance to respawn. So you have to make sure that you have the option to drop it when it's gonna be most useful.
Oh jeez, oh god, oh jeez, oh god.
Please move behind the barrier.
Get on next to the standoff.
Supercharger powering up.
What's wrong with this?
I'll just be full backing. Also, I was just too far forward in general.
What do you not have here?
Cover.
Yeah, play cover. Okay. So you run over here, you die instantly, you don't cover. Feels bad. We hold somehow.
Moving behind the barrier. Not so
That pull
fast.
sucks.
Yeah, she needs to get this.
Moving
It's
behind my barrier.
The idea is not too bad, but where do you actually need to place it?
I mean, I think I just don't fire it. I can't even pull them off high ground or anything like that anyways, so...
So if you were to tell me that you're trying to pull the Hanzo out of the doorway, or somebody out of the doorway, I think that'd be totally fine, but you need to place it here. Alright, just a little bit to the right.
Oh, just so that other people can fire at him?
Yeah, so if you're gonna pull someone out of this doorway, that's a reasonable pull. Right? Just pulling at the Orisa where she's standing is complete hogwash. if you can drag somebody from the doorway out of the doorway, and maybe get a chance to kill them, that'd be okay. But pulling directly at this Orisa is kind of worthless, right?
Not
That's
so
pointless.
fast.
If you had pulled to the right a little bit, you're probably gonna drag a couple people either off the ledge or close. Like you're gonna put somebody here, and they might die for it. But putting it straight into the horses is pointless.
The second title card in one episode.
You need to bongo a little sooner than this too.
Yeah.
How much you can hit a full face.
Right, like I would have bongoed probably like already by now.
I think bongoing before the pull is much better than like.
I don't know.
I think, in my opinion, you always
I
bongo
still need to
before
get.
you
I still need to get time to cover the bongo though.
I mean, no, you just bongo behind the wall and then
Yeah,
peek out and pull.
This bongo's too late, and it's in front of a shield.
Yeah.
It's way too late. The bongo is the most useful when there's some when okay, there's like a bit of a window you have to hit, right? If you bongo now, it's too early. Even now, it's still too early.
Like, I feel like I should
Now you
duck behind
definitely, but like now, yes.
Yeah, just immediately
Anytime
bongo
now,
once ducking.
right? Anytime now. Well, it's because. Okay, well, why is this a good bongo?
They're just like they don't have any cover at this
Pushing.
point. Yeah.
Hmm?
They don't have cover. They're on like
Yeah, they're committed.
they're committing.
They're committed, right? They're basically all through the door, and if you bongo now, they're probably gonna die. Like you fucked up a pull, but if you bongo now, they probably still die. And to any point, you should be feeling some urgency to do something because they're forcing themselves onto you with ults. If you don't bongo, something bad's gonna happen, right? They're gonna beat you on pressure because they have double damage, or like 50% damage across the board.
Also, I think one micro thing as well. When you place bongo, it depends on where you're
Right.
looking.
That hardly. I mean, like.
I mean,
it's
it does
like
matter
barely.
here, where it's
Just
like.
put it here. Just put it behind cover. It has to go behind cover.
I mean, yeah, it has to be
Right, just look behind
cover,
you.
but, like-
And drop it here, and then turn around and shoot them. Super easy.
well, that's what I'm saying. I think like a habit.
I'm gonna
we
know
have-
depending on that.
You like we always bongo when you're looking forward, and it's always better to like turn around bongo than turn back
Well,
around.
I'll keep that in mind. I actually did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
it gets
depends on
placed
where
in
you're
front of
looking.
you, so it's like, but like barely. I mean, it's like
I mean, I think it's significant enough where it's like it matters where if it's in like it'll change whether the bongo's in cover or out of cover.
sure, and that's a lot less important than the fact that you need a bongo like 3 seconds ago because they're in your face. Even
Yeah.
right now, a bongo would be fine. Right, it's a little bit late because they're like when they're too close to you and they can just run over the bongo. Right, if it's too early when they can just back out. It's too late when they can just run you over and kill the bongo. It's about too late right now. But like we're still holding it, and now we're gonna drop it way too late. It's gonna instantly die. We're gonna lose. Man, there's no reason that should happen because they have to cross that entire catwalk and they should have died to the bongo. Wow, we held. Ah, they never cleared our off angles. Now they die. Nice.
60 seconds.
Good job, Andrew.
10 seconds remaining.
They lose, right?
Round,
Okay. I want to look at
round one.
a couple more. My voice is starting to die, so we're gonna have to do the monkey bot later. But look at a couple fights on attack.
Ready for battle.
Hopefully, this is plenty of material to think about. I'm recording this too, and I'll post it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this is plenty of material to think about. But shield placement timing, very important. I mean, that's like number one. Okay, if you don't get your shield placement timing right, it's like a monkey that bubbles like for no reason in the middle of nowhere. Right? It's so fundamental. Once you get that right, your pulls and your gold usage will just they'll just line up better. Rather, like you'll be in the right place. You'll be dumping resources at the right time, and the rest of your kit just kind of you just figure it out. It'll make a lot more sense then. So shield timing, when and where, and not shooting walls. Right, because we've already had one instance in just half of a map where you it's like, wow, I wish I had more ammo in my clip.
I don't know how this
And then bongo usage.
Like I really
Feeling that
didn't
window.
want. Last night I really didn't want Title Chapter. But I got that I was
Alright,
so
alright, like this. And
class was
And-
long.
Yeah, you want
what
me
are
to be
you
left?
doing?
Trolling.
What are you doing, you moron?
Towards the end.
What are you not anywhere near it right now?
Cover.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
he introduced
What is
them.
about to happen?
Me getting killed by Nash.
I'm
It's like I'm
What?
psychic.
Oh yeah, I knew that too.
I'm not
Okay, what are you also not anywhere near?
Covering. I should probably honestly just back off at this fight.
I mean, you can stick card. There's nothing wrong with just sticking card. I mean, you're pretty committed right now, right? Like, I don't really know where you're supposed to back up to without a shield, and you got like 2 guys behind you here. You can stand your ground like pretty well, and Peter's in a very good position because he's in a spot where these guys don't interact with him, right? So he's only looking at 2 or 3 people who can actually shoot him, and if you can just stand here and live, Peter's eventually going to kill these people or make them leave
it's just writing.
because this is a really good off angle from Peter, and you just have to allow him the time to get value, right? But if you're just gonna stand here and feed like this, you're not gonna get value, right? Because what could you have done if you had used gold and you were playing here? You could have held that shield for much longer, right? You could hold that shield, and then you can actually use it to force yourself onto this. You could probably drop a shield even like if you want to be big brain, drop it here because this cuts off the horse from healing, and you can kill her.
The shirt doesn't like come up all the way on my neck, you know.
Right, but
So then
because
it's
you're
like-
dropping your shield here, exactly where you're standing, as is the
has, like,
pattern that I've seen
tag,
this map,
and the goatee has
you
a
don't have it
tag.
for that utility, and you could have used cover
Who's not
to
doing
LOS the
very well
damage
in
that the
this?
shield is taking. So you're burning shield to eat spam that you could be LOSing. Make sense?
Yeah.
So please cover. You too, Ian. All of you cover. More cover. Pull mechanics look kind of rough. Getting kind of rusty.
fortifying defenses.
Loading here. Please stay up.
I don't think it's a good deal. Why? Because I don't like the way that the original.
So this high ground is not clear, so you can't afford to stand here. Right? If you're gonna do anything, you can maybe stand in this doorway, and again, allow Peter the time to go up there and do work. But you can't expose your backside of this.
Yeah.
This is not understanding where the sight lines are. Right? The enemy still has a really, like, they're doing to you what I teach you guys to do to them, right? And you can't, but like you're standing in this death box, in this kill box, and just taking it. You can't. Right? Stand in this doorway, and allow Peter the time to get work done.
So I saw like a new terminal.
Now you're forcing this one. And Peter's getting a lot of work done. He's making it happen with a 3-man crew, and you just need to not feed until that happens.
Basically, like,
What are you not standing anywhere near right now, dude? Like, there's no reason for you to die here. And you just play behind cart. Like this, it's the difference between playing here and playing here. It's literally about 3 meters, 2 to 3 meters, but it's all the difference in the
The
world.
whole file path
Yeah.
on every account, or on every community that I run, and I wanted to just list the rest of it. And there's stuff online about how to do that, but nothing's working. My file is different. And it's been going back Google.
So this is what we talked about before, and why this kind of sucks. Right? If we had sent these 3 guys,
So it looks
this
clean,
way,
but yeah. Anyways, and then
it would be really strong.
and then
Because it's going to make it so much easier for these guys to get out the door and take the stairs.
why do I ever ask Marco for help?
Can we kind of see this? Because
I ask Demi
like doing
for
this,
help with stuff sometimes.
this side, like when you do this, right? This group cannot see
not
this side at
all
all.
the
You're
time.
completely cut off 3v3.
No, I was asking Sammy on
And I don't really like that. I think if you're gonna play like a ball tracer comp, you can do that. But these kinds of really wide splits with these slow comps, I think it's not very strong. You want to be in a spot where you do this, or you come in this way, and both wings of this formation can actually see and support each other, and you're pinching not the entire map, but just this side of it, right? And then it's gonna buy your stair side the space to come up, take boilers, and these people can just keep walking. Nice, great gameplay. You see what I mean, though? Like,
Yeah, it's not necessarily difficult to do this.
it's
Like,
really
it'd
hard.
just be easier. Just gonna be, it would be easier going main.
It's just really hard because you're not getting a force, like you're not getting force multipliers, right? You're not getting 6 people looking at the same area, applying pressure to one area. You're getting 3 people looking at this area, 3 people looking at this area, and the bongos here is not helping like, the guys on the left at all, right? It's helping 2 people.
Yeah.
And whereas like a bongo even I mean, a bongo here would probably be even better, right? Because people have the option of peeking around and getting it.
Are you talking about
But
a specific
yeah,
event?
you're missing force amplification. You're not applying pressure in the same spots because you have to fight over this door for however many seconds it was. Ian, why did you die?
Yeah. Yeah, then everything stopped in the view.
Oh, gee, I really wondered if there's something we could be standing next to that would have prevented this from happening. You don't need to take the stairs at all. Right, Ian? You can literally stand here the entire time Peter's walking up. Like that's the bonus of BAP. You can literally stand here, LOS the entire enemy team until Peter walks up, and walk up and jump. Right, you get flanked by Hanzo, which kind of sucks, but you're also in the middle of nowhere, and you just take a billion damage before getting into cover. Like you should not be getting pulled in that situation, which is allowing the Hanzo which is allowing those shots to get on you. Yeah. Ian. Okay. Good attempt. It's too close to him. Gotta do it a little wider.
Welcome, Mama.
Yeah, I don't think you shield that. I think you just drop cart LOS. Right, like this shield doesn't accomplish anything. Just drop cart and LOS. Or you can even play here. This is totally fine. Right, we talk about like high ground horse being kind of shit, kind of for this reason. Like you're obligated to shield to hold high ground, whereas you can just drop low ground LOS and you're getting the same amount of value and you're saving a shield.
You're not getting away.
Win this. Third point was a mess. Let's take a look at it real quick. LOS. This is not LOS. You're still getting shot at by Hanzo. Get close to the cart, please. Lucky repeater. See, your shield's about to break. You're not standing next to cover. Right, and I want the picture that you're seeing to be much more like this or like this, to where if your shield breaks, all you gotta do is duck. Right? It shouldn't be like your shield breaks and you're obligated to use gold every single time because then you're cutting off your options. Right? Maybe you need gold a little bit later for something else. Right? Maybe it's not worth it just to use gold. It's just to survive a bunch of spam. But that's what you're doing right now. Right? You're obligating yourself to drop cooldowns wherever you're standing, exactly where you're standing. That's reducing the size of your play. Well, Peter's dead, so that's unfortunate. Okay, so he's ready to go. So let's go. Drop shield. That was a lot of damage.
Routing navigation systems to defense.
So because of where they're playing, well, you tell me where you drop a shield.
Like,
But that's
around the pillar that we're playing at, like, or hiding around from.
Yeah, I'd say that's actually too far forward, right? This is totally fine because again, you need cover to like this is not a wall. As soon as it dies, it can't be like my shield dies and I feed. Right?
Yeah.
I would actually put it here because the enemy's playing here. What you're trying to do is you're just trying to buy some kind of off angle pressure to get your sig into the room.
Get my work, but
Yeah.
Right. Once you trade a little bit and you get some people into this room, once your sig can cross this way, and they start to back off a little bit, then you can shield forward and take more space, and then you want to get to this cover.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Right, but you can't just walk into this crossfire right now. You have to give your sig the chance to this one was pretty good. Because they have no cover. They're kind of forced to take it. That window was trash. Ian, if you're here.
The clock and I had up.
Ian.
I'm muted. I said it in the moment.
Ian bad.
I said,
You got
oh
a
wait, why did I
bongo.
window?
Yeah. This bongo's garbage.
Oh yeah, no. I
Or,
said,
no,
oh
no,
wait,
this
why did
bongo's
I
great.
win?
This bongo's garbage.
I killed the Sigma.
Okay, in this moment, we have time. Peter, get people here.
Oh no, that's what we do.
It's just one of those.
That's what we do, man. Don't.
That's
No.
what I do. That's what
Oh,
I do.
I told you to do it, Peter. Oh.
You didn't. You didn't.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, really? I didn't. I didn't heard.
Okay, fine. We
Play
both
there.
thought it, Peter. We
It was
both.
fine. We are in the same page. We're in the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Andrew and I went to hold there. Yeah.
It was really good.
Okay. Yeah, I need to stop talking now. 'Cause my voice is fucking down.
Well, how about Madka? How about we run the VOD and then you correct us?
Oh, sure. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm just trying to dodge responsibilities right now, so like,
Really?
you're giving me some